For millions upon millions of people, that first morning cup of coffee is far more than just a simple drink. It's a deeply ingrained, non-negotiable ritual. It's the warm mug in our hands, the rich aroma filling the kitchen, the familiar signal that the day has truly begun. But what if I were to tell you that this cherished daily habit, this cornerstone of your morning, represents a monumental missed opportunity? What if that very same cup could be doing something far more shocking, far more profound than just waking you up? What if it could be the key to rebuilding the very foundation of your strength, your stability, and your independence? The unfortunate, undeniable truth is that after we cross the threshold of age 60, our bodies can begin to lose precious muscle at an alarming rate. It's a condition known as sarcopenia, and it's one of the primary reasons aging can feel like a slow, unwelcome decline. Sarcopenia isn't just about feeling a little weaker or not being able to lift what you're used to. It's the reason the jar of pickles becomes impossible to open. It's why a simple flight of stairs can suddenly feel like climbing a mountain, leaving you breathless and shaky at the top. It's the quiet, creeping fear of a fall that begins to occupy your thoughts, turning familiar ground into uncertain territory. This is the gradual, day-by-day erosion of the physical freedom we all took for granted for so many years. It's a loss that happens so slowly, we often don't notice it until it's already dictating our lives, forcing us to say no to activities we once loved. But what if the narrative of decline isn't the only one there is to tell? What if you could write a different story? What 99% of seniors don't know is that the answer isn't necessarily some punishing new workout or a complicated, expensive regimen. In fact, a crucial part of the secret might just be sitting in your pantry right now, waiting to be unlocked and added to the coffee you're already drinking. We're talking about simple, unassuming, yet powerfully effective powders, each backed by compelling scientific research. These powders have the potential to transform your daily coffee ritual from a simple pick-me-up into a powerhouse for rebuilding stronger, more stable legs and a more resilient body. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain and reveal the 5 most effective, research-supported powders that you can begin stirring into your coffee starting as soon as tomorrow morning. These are not miracle cures, but practical tools to help fortify your muscles, soothe your joints, and reclaim the kind of strength you may have thought was lost to the passage of time. Stay with me because the information we're about to share isn't just interesting, it could genuinely change the way you approach aging, one cup at a time.
Section 1. The Foundation Builder. Collagen Peptides. Let's begin with the powder that has some of the most fascinating and directly relevant science behind it for seniors: collagen peptides. If you could visualize collagen, you might think of it as the invisible framework, the essential glue that holds your entire body together. It is the most abundant protein in our system, a critical component that forms the structure of our skin, our bones, our cartilage, and the tendons that connect muscle to bone. When we are young, our bodies produce collagen in abundance, creating a strong, flexible, and resilient internal matrix. However, as we age, our natural production of this vital protein plummets. This decline is the hidden architect behind so many signs of aging, not just the wrinkles we see on our skin, but the aching joints we feel in our knees and the weakening of our overall muscular structure. And this is precisely where the science gets truly exciting for anyone over 60 concerned about their strength and mobility. A particularly interesting study published in the esteemed British Journal of Nutrition decided to tackle this issue head-on. Researchers took a group of elderly men already experiencing sarcopenia, that age-related muscle loss we discussed, and put them on a 12-week resistance training program. The group was split in two. One half received a placebo, an inert powder with no active ingredients. The other half was given 15 grams of collagen peptides daily. The results were not just positive, they were remarkable. After 12 weeks, the group that supplemented with collagen peptides gained significantly more muscle mass and, crucially, saw a much greater increase in leg strength compared to the group that only did the exercises. We're talking about a tangible, measurable difference in power, the kind of power needed for standing up confidently, for walking steadily, for living independently. While more large-scale studies are always needed to confirm these effects, these early findings are incredibly promising, suggesting collagen can provide the raw materials your body needs to make exercise more effective. Now, let me tell you about Eleanor, who is 72. Eleanor's great joy in life had always been her brisk morning walks through the park. It was her time to think, to breathe, to feel alive. But over the past couple of years, a nagging, persistent ache in her right knee and a growing feeling of unsteadiness had turned her favorite activity into a source of deep anxiety. She started taking shorter walks, then avoiding hills, until eventually she barely went at all. After hearing about the research on collagen, she decided, with a healthy dose of skepticism, to try adding unflavored collagen peptides to her morning coffee.
For the first few weeks, nothing. But she stuck with it. Then, after about a month, the change was subtle, and then suddenly it was obvious. The constant dull ache in her knee began to fade into the background. Within 3 months, Eleanor was not only back to her long, joyful walks in the park, but she had also started gardening again, a passion she'd given up years ago because the squatting and kneeling had become too painful. For Eleanor, collagen wasn't a magic pill, but it was the key that unlocked a part of her life she was heartbroken to think was gone for good. Now, a common and very valid question I get is, doesn't hot coffee destroy the collagen? You hear that heat can damage proteins, so it's a logical concern. The science shows that collagen's structure does begin to change at temperatures well above our normal body temperature. Studies on collagen peptides, the form used in supplements, show they are actually quite heat stable and don't begin to significantly degrade until temperatures far exceed that of a normal cup of coffee, often around 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 150 degrees Celsius. However, to be absolutely sure you're getting the maximum benefit, here's the simple, crucial tip. Let your coffee cool for just a minute or two after brewing. That slight drop from boiling to simply hot is enough to ensure you're preserving those delicate and valuable peptides. How to use it. Stir 1 scoop, which is typically 10 to 15 grams, of unflavored, hydrolyzed collagen peptides into your warm, not scalding coffee. Look for a product that is hydrolyzed, as this means it's already been broken down into smaller, more easily absorbable pieces. It should dissolve completely with no discernible taste. The most important factor is consistency. Make it a non-negotiable part of your daily habit. Section 2. The Energy Catalyst, MCT Oil Powder. Our second powder is a true game changer, not just for muscle, but for sustained energy and mental clarity, and it's called MCT Oil Powder. MCT is an acronym that stands for medium-chain triglycerides. Now, that sounds technical, but the concept is simple. Think of MCTs as a special, high-octane type of fat. Unlike the more common long-chain fats found in foods like olive oil or avocados, which require a lengthy digestive process, MCTs are absorbed incredibly rapidly. They bypass the usual digestive route and are sent straight to your liver. There, your liver converts them into an immediate and exceptionally clean-burning source of energy called ketones. Why is this so critically important for the strength and endurance of your legs? As we get older, our muscles can become less efficient at using their typical fuel source, glucose. This can lead to that all-too-familiar feeling of fatigue, where our legs feel heavy and our energy just seems to evaporate. Ketones, produced from MCTs, provide a powerful alternative fuel that your muscles and brain can readily use to power through activity. It's like switching your body from a standard fuel to a premium high-performance one.
The science on this is compelling and growing. One clinical trial found that consuming MCT oil improved both muscle strength and overall function in older adults. Another study that focused specifically on frail elderly individuals found that supplementing with just 6 grams of MCTs per day led to significant improvements in muscle strength and function, helping with everyday activities. It provides the direct energy your muscles need to stay active, and that very activity is the most crucial signal you can send to your body, telling it to preserve and even build precious muscle tissue. Let's talk about Robert, 68. A retired woodworker, Robert was used to being on his feet all day, but he found his energy crashing hard by mid-morning. His legs would feel heavy and tired, and the focus he needed for his detailed projects would simply vanish. He started adding a single teaspoon of MCT oil powder to his morning coffee. The effect, he said, wasn't a sudden jolt like an extra shot of espresso. Instead, Robert described it as a steady, sustained burn of clean energy. That mid-morning crash completely disappeared. He suddenly had the stamina to not only finish his intricate workshop projects, but also to take his energetic dog for a long, vigorous walk in the afternoon without feeling drained. For Robert, MCT oil didn't just give him more energy, it gave him back his productive, active, and fulfilling days.
How to use it. The key with MCT oil powder is to start small. Begin with just 1 teaspoon stirred into your coffee. It dissolves easily and gives it a wonderful, rich, and creamy consistency, almost like a latte. Because MCTs are such a potent and rapidly absorbed fuel source, it's important to let your digestive system adapt. Starting with too much can sometimes cause stomach upset. After a week or two, you can gradually increase the amount to a full tablespoon to find the level that gives you that sustained, all-day energy.
Section 3. The inflammation soother, turmeric or curcumin. Our third powder is a vibrant golden spice that has been revered in traditional medicine for centuries, and which modern science is now enthusiastically validating for its incredible health benefits. We are, of course, talking about turmeric, and more specifically, its powerful active compound, curcumin. Chronic inflammation is a silent enemy of healthy aging. Think of it as a low-level, smoldering fire that's constantly burning within the body. This process is particularly damaging to the delicate cartilage that cushions our joints. When your knees, hips, and hands are perpetually stiff, swollen, and painful, you simply cannot move with the confidence and freedom required to keep your leg muscles strong and active. Pain is a powerful inhibitor. It makes us sedentary, and sedentarism is the fast track to muscle loss. This is precisely where curcumin enters the picture. It is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory compounds ever discovered. Numerous high-quality studies have demonstrated its remarkable effectiveness in managing the pain, stiffness, and loss of function associated with knee osteoarthritis. One comprehensive review of multiple clinical trials found that turmeric therapy consistently led to significant improvements in both pain scores and functional ability. In fact, some fascinating research has even shown curcumin to have comparable pain-relieving effects to ibuprofen for managing osteoarthritis, but crucially, without the potential for gastrointestinal side effects that some people experience with long-term use of NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Consider the story of Maria, 75. Her absolute joy in life was her weekly ballroom dance class. It was her social circle, her exercise, her creative outlet. But worsening, grinding pain in her knees had cruelly forced her to sit on the sidelines, watching others glide across the floor. On the advice of her doctor, she started making what she called a golden coffee each morning, adding turmeric and a pinch of black pepper to her brew. Week by week, she noticed a subtle easing of the persistent ache. The fire in her joints began to feel more like warm embers. After about 2 months of this daily ritual, she felt brave enough to try a few simple dance steps in her living room. To her absolute amazement, she could move with a fluidity and lack of pain she hadn't felt in years. Maria is now back to her dance class, a living testament to how soothing the joints can free the muscles to do their job. And now for the most crucial tip about turmeric, and this part is truly non-negotiable. Curcumin on its own is not easily absorbed by the body. Much of it would pass right through your system without providing its benefits. However, science has discovered a powerful ally, piperine, the active compound found in simple black pepper. Combining curcumin with piperine can boost its absorption and bioavailability by an incredible, almost unbelievable 2,000%. Heat also helps with absorption, making a warm cup of coffee the ideal delivery system.
How to use it. Stir half to 1 full teaspoon of high-quality turmeric powder into your hot coffee. And as we just discussed, this is the essential part. Add a tiny pinch of finely ground black pepper. You only need a little bit to activate the curcumin. The earthy, spicy flavor of the turmeric pairs surprisingly well with the bitterness of coffee, creating a complex and enjoyable beverage. We've covered 3 incredibly powerful powders so far: collagen for building the foundation, MCT oil for fueling your energy, and turmeric for soothing inflammation. Each one tackles a different, critical aspect of maintaining strength and mobility. I'm curious to know which one resonates with you the most. Let me know in the comments below. Your journey and your questions can inspire someone else to take that all-important first step. Now let's get to our 4th powder, which is all about boosting the very lifeblood that feeds your muscles.
Section 4. The Circulation Booster, Beetroot Powder. Our 4th science-backed edition is a visually stunning, vibrant red powder that works wonders for one of the most overlooked aspects of muscle health, your circulation. We're talking about beetroot powder. As we get older, our blood vessels can become stiffer and less efficient at producing a crucial molecule called nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as the master traffic controller for your circulatory system. It sends a signal to the smooth muscles in your artery walls, telling them to relax and widen. This process, called vasodilation, allows blood to flow freely and efficiently, delivering the oxygen and nutrients your muscles are crying out for, especially during activity. When your natural nitric oxide levels decline with age, your leg muscles can be effectively starved of the oxygen they need to function, leading to premature fatigue, weakness, and that burning sensation. This is where beetroot powder shines. It is one of the richest natural sources of dietary nitrates on the planet. When you consume these nitrates, your body cleverly converts them into that all-important nitric oxide. Suddenly, your internal highways are opened up and blood flow improves dramatically. The research here is compelling and directly applicable. A study conducted on older patients who were already dealing with heart failure found that just 1 single week of daily beetroot juice supplementation improved their submaximal aerobic endurance by a staggering 24%. By improving blood flow and the efficiency of oxygen delivery, these nitrates can significantly enhance your endurance and dramatically reduce that feeling of heavy-legged fatigue during everyday activities like walking, climbing stairs, or shopping. Let's look at the story of David, 78. David has lived on the 3rd floor of a walk-up apartment building for over 40 years. Those stairs were once just a part of his day, but recently, each flight had become a monumental effort. He'd have to stop on the first landing, catching his breath, his heart pounding, his calves burning with a painful fire. He started mixing a rounded teaspoon of beetroot powder into his coffee every morning. He liked the sweet, earthy taste and the beautiful reddish hue it gave his cup. Within a few weeks, he tackled the stairs and was surprised to find he made it all the way to the 2nd floor before he felt the need to stop. That small victory was hugely motivating. After 2 months of his daily beetroot coffee, he climbed all 3 flights without pausing, arriving at his front door not exhausted, but simply ready to enter. It wasn't about breaking any speed records. It was about the quiet, steady, oxygen-fueled power that was now reaching his leg muscles, allowing them to do their job without protest.
How to use it? Start with 1 teaspoon of a good quality beetroot powder and stir it thoroughly into your coffee. It has a slightly sweet and earthy flavor that many people find blends nicely with coffee's natural bitterness. It will give your cup a beautiful, deep reddish hue, a fantastic visual reminder of the incredible good you're doing for your body's circulatory system.
Section 5. The Muscle Protector, Cocoa Powder. We've arrived at our 5th and final powder, and it's one that will feel like a truly decadent and wonderful treat. High-quality, unsweetened cocoa powder. Now, let's be very clear. This isn't the sugary processed hot chocolate mix you remember from your childhood. We're talking about pure, unadulterated cocoa, which is absolutely packed with a class of powerful antioxidant compounds called flavonols. These amazing flavonols offer a potent, double-barreled benefit for leg strength. They improve blood flow, much like beets do, but they also have a unique ability to help protect and even regenerate muscle tissue itself. Similar to the nitrates in beetroot, cocoa flavonols have been shown to enhance the body's production of nitric oxide, improving circulation, but they also do something more profound. Research suggests that these compounds help to reduce oxidative stress. You can think of this as a kind of cellular rust that damages our cells, including muscle cells, and they actively support the body's natural muscle repair and regeneration processes. This is absolutely critical for anyone looking to combat age-related muscle loss. One of the most fascinating studies in this area was conducted on older adults suffering from peripheral artery disease, PAD, a common and painful condition caused by poor circulation to the legs. The study, published by the American Heart Association, had participants drink a specially prepared flavanol-rich cocoa beverage 3 times a day for 6 months. The results were remarkable. Compared to the group drinking a placebo without the flavonols, the group consuming the cocoa was able to walk significantly farther, over 42 meters more, in a standard 6-minute walking test. That's an improvement of nearly half a football field, demonstrating a direct and powerful link between cocoa flavonols and improved walking performance in seniors. The researchers believe this is because the flavonols helped improve the health and function of the mitochondria, the tiny energy factories within the muscle cells. Think of Susan, 70. She loved to spend hours in her garden, but the constant squatting and getting up left her leg muscles sore and aching for days afterward. The slow recovery was becoming so discouraging that she considered giving it up. She began adding a heaping teaspoon of unsweetened cocoa powder to her morning coffee, turning it into a healthy, rich mocha. What she noticed after a few weeks was not that the work became effortless, but that her next day muscle soreness was noticeably milder. She felt like her body was bouncing back faster, allowing her to stay active day after day, keeping her leg muscles engaged and strong. How to use it? Stir 1 to 2 heaping teaspoons of unsweetened, natural, or non-alkalized cocoa powder into your coffee for a delicious, rich mocha. This is an important detail. The process of alkalizing or Dutching cocoa powder, which is done to darken the color and mellow the flavor, can destroy a significant portion of the beneficial flavonols. So be sure to look for natural cacao or cocoa on the label to get the full muscle-protecting benefits.
So there you have it. 5 simple, powerful, and science-backed powders you can add to your daily coffee to begin building a stronger foundation for the years to come. We talked about the foundation builder, collagen peptides, to supply the building blocks for your muscles, joints, and connective tissues. We discussed the energy catalyst, MCT oil powder, to provide clean, sustained fuel for your muscles and mind.
We uncovered the inflammation soother, turmeric, to calm the painful inflammation in your joints that can hold you back. We highlighted the circulation booster, beetroot powder, to open up your blood vessels and deliver vital oxygen to your legs. And finally, the muscle protector, cocoa powder, to defend your muscles from damage and aid in their recovery. The journey of aging doesn't have to be a story of inevitable decline. It does not have to be a passive experience where we simply accept weakness and loss of function. As we've seen today, the power to change that narrative, to write a new chapter, can be remarkably simple. It doesn't require a radical overhaul of your life. It can start tomorrow morning with a single scoop in a cup you're already drinking. Your morning coffee can be so much more than a ritual. It can be a declaration. It can be the moment each day where you consciously decide to become an active participant in your own strength, your own health, and your own vitality. That simple cup in your hands can be a missed opportunity, or it can be a powerful tool for rebuilding your future, one sip at a time. The choice, as always, is yours. As a final and very important note, this information is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Combining multiple supplements can have unintended effects, and it's always a good idea to speak with your doctor or a registered dietitian before starting any new health regimen, especially if you have pre-existing conditions or are taking any medications. If you found this information valuable and empowering, please give this video a thumbs up and consider sharing it with a friend or family member who could benefit from hearing this message. And for more practical, science-backed tips to help you live a stronger, healthier, and more vibrant life, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and here's to stronger legs, one cup at a time.